Hey, welcome to another episode of Get Fit with Ed Fit, and today I want to talk to you about momentum, building the momentum to succeed with your fitness goals. How do we get that momentum going when we want to get fit? How do we build the momentum so that we just keep going? Often the hardest thing is getting started. And as I record this episode from my car, which it's a wet and rainy day outside, parked up, I'm at a standstill. Obviously I'm recording, so I'm not driving, but the car is parked up, it's stopped. But if I was to start driving my car would require energy and effort to get it moving again. It requires fuel. It requires me to put my foot on the gas, on the accelerator, to get it moving again, to get the wheels turning. And it's very much the same in all walks of life, especially with our fitness goals. If I was to take this car and start driving again, if I was to hit the motorway, for example, I've got to put my foot down on the accelerator, probably quite far to get it going, get it up to 70 miles an hour. It's going to require a lot of effort. But then once I'm at 70 miles an hour, once I'm at my desired speed, it's more a case of using that momentum to keep me going. Because when I'm at 70 miles an hour, my foot is not still fully down on the accelerator. My foot will be just kind of hovering above it just to maintain that speed. And if I want to go a little bit faster, it's not going to take much effort for me to kind of just accelerate a little bit more. Same with an aeroplane. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to get think of an aeroplane, how big it is, to get that machine off the ground and flying in the air, and to a point where if you look at a plane in the sky, it just looks like it's effortlessly gliding. But it's not always like that. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to get that plane moving from the ground into a takeoff position and up into the air, where it's just gliding along, coasting along. So the same applies with our fitness goals, or any goal that we might have. Often the hardest thing is getting started. That's where we require the most energy, the most effort, the most input from ourselves to get going. If you think about who's ever been on a run, you go on a run, and often those first few minutes it just feels like a bit of a slog. You're just thinking like, oh, I just want to go back home. What the hell am I doing here? And once you get past that 5, maybe 10-minute mark, you almost kind of get into a state of flow. You just get into the zone where it just feels effortless. Your music's playing and you feel like you can run forever. But those first few minutes just feel so challenging as your body adjusts. But once you get going, it's just so much easier. And as we build that fitness up, it becomes easier and easier. And it's the same in the gym. Maybe whether you go to the gym for the first time and you lift a weight that's really heavy, or you're a regular gym goer, but you lift something that's a bit heavier, something that's a bit out of your comfort zone. The first time you pick it up, it feels really heavy. But then once you get it moving, once you start doing the reps and you get that momentum going, and you get into that, you get into the rhythm of it, it just feels a lot easier than that first time you picked the weight up. And you come back to that same weight next week and you start the exercise, it feels a little bit easier. And then you come back and do the same exercise the week after, it feels a little bit easier still. And then you go to the next weight up, or you do a few more reps, and you continually push yourself out of that comfort zone. Because when we place our body and minds through something that's going to cause us stress, whether that's good stress, like your fitness or lifting a weight, your body very quickly adapts, your mind very quickly adapts to that, to cope with this new source of stress. So the body is very clever at adapting. And once we get that momentum going, it's very easy to keep going. And it's the same with building fitness as a habit, not just an individual workout or an individual specific exercise like running or lifting weights. The same applies with the journey in general. Once you've got started and once you get going, it's much easier to keep going. Sure, there's going to be challenges along the way. There's going to be things that derail you, but You know, for me, I've been training for 23 years now. I think it's something like that. You know, it's a long time. It's just a part of who I am now. It's a habit. So it's the same as building any habit. It takes a lot of effort at first. It takes a lot of thought, a lot of energy, mental energy as well as physical energy maybe. You know, it takes a lot of effort to get it going, to build a habit, to to break your normal routine and do something new. It takes a lot of effort and energy. So once you get going and you build the habit, it's much easier to stick to a habit. Let's say you start exercising 3 or 4 times a week and you hadn't been doing that previously. It feels like a lot of effort to do that. But then, you know, for me, who's been doing it 23 years, I don't even think about it. It's just part of what I do. It's not something that comes into question. It's just what I'm doing. It's a habit. It becomes automated. You know, we talk a lot about in this day and age automation. We have our own automation system, which is, you know, habits. And when you start a new habit and you ingrain a new habit, you're creating these neural pathways into your brain where it just becomes effortless. It becomes easy the more you do something. So really repetition is key. Just doing something over and over and over and over again, even if it does take a lot of effort, just keep putting that effort in. Repeated bouts of effort, continuous effort until, you know, it becomes easier and the momentum gets going and the effort level goes down because you can use that momentum to keep you going. So that's what it's all about. It's all about repetition, putting in that initial effort, getting past those first few hurdles when it comes to your fitness. You know, making sure you're disciplined early on, because if you can get through those first few weeks, months, you know, it's going to be so much easier to keep going. And like I said, there will be challenges. There are going to be things that stop you, and then you feel like you've got to start again. But every time you get started again, it's just much easier than the last time. So the key is keep going, keep pushing on, never give up on your goals and dreams. And of course, if you want some help, I'm here, I've got your back, I'm here to support you. You need a plan, you need a strategy. You know, we're talking of effort. If you want to minimize the effort, it's really important that you engage in outside help if you need it, because, you know, trying to do it alone makes it a lot harder than when you have someone who's been on that journey before and helped others on the journey that you want to go on. So just seeking that assistance, someone who can help you map out a plan and hold you accountable, is also highly recommended. So, you know, if you want some help from me, then, you know, I'm here, you know, I've got your back. Just drop me a little message on social media and I'll be happy to have a chat with you. See you on the next episode.